So I just completed building an omni-channel ChatGPT GoHighLevel booking bot that works across SMS, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram DM. So we can see here that inside of this one sub account, we have the Instagram GPT master. I just showed you the SMS GPT master. And then inside of here, we have the Facebook GPT master. So if you're brand new to this series and you're, basically starting from scratch here, you may want to go check out this video where I show how to build a ChatGPT booking bot from scratch. And I pretty much go over everything in forensic detail. That way you can have a basic understanding of, how you can do this for your business or for your client's business if you're using GoHighLevel as an agency. So real quick, just to summarize everything, what ChatGPT does is it basically can respond to your leads on complete autopilot. And previously in that original video, the only function that I had created at the time was the ability to respond to customers via SMS and attempt to get them to book an appointment. Since then, I've made quite a few iterations, one of them being the AI appointment booking bot, which only works for SMS. And the other error that I've recently been working on is making sure that the system automatically follows up with your leads, which there was a pretty common error across those of you that had purchased this system from me or built it off of the video that I showed how to actually create this stuff. And so basically I fixed all of it. And in this video, I'm going to basically show you how each individual channel works on a brand new sub account. And each of these are individual snapshots, by the way. So what's cool is I was able to build 3 separate ChatGPT snapshots that work individually. So SMS, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram, right? And then with the way I was able to redesign the snapshot, I was able to then combine the individual ChatGPT snapshots like Lego blocks into one sub account without error. So that's why inside of this one sub account, we have 3 different workflows inside, 3 different workflow folders. Inside each of these folders, we have the workflows for the respective channels. So these can all work independently in their own individual sub accounts, and they can also work individually within one sub account. So if a lead is messaging you via Facebook Messenger and another person's messaging you via Instagram, these 2 systems can work totally independently inside of one sub account. And I mean, all 3 of them. And then on top of it, what I was able to do, which was the most fun part about all of this, was I was able to, inside of one sub account, merge 3 separate contacts from 3 separate communication channels into one contact. So let me break this down real quick. So inside of GoHighLevel, you have the ability to communicate with your leads via text, via email, via Facebook Messenger, via Instagram DM, Google My Business, all the channels that GoHighLevel gives you the ability to contact leads through, right? And so what I wanted to do when I was working on this next iteration of the system was kind of push it to the limit, which, it's cool to make one channel work well, right? The SMS one worked pretty well. There was some errors with the follow-up, but one channel individually was, not too difficult, right? And even adding in Facebook and Instagram wasn't too difficult. But what I started to see from people who purchased this from me was they wanted to have either different channels in one sub account. So, they really wanted, from what I saw, was an experience for their customer or for their business to where if somebody messaged that sub account on text or Facebook or Instagram, that, an individual bot would work for that respective channel. So what I had to do was kind of reconfigure how each little building block was built. That way, if somebody, built the SMS version, then that would work perfectly on its own. But if you loaded the Facebook Messenger snapshot into the same sub account where the SMS one was, it wouldn't conflict, it wouldn't cause any error, it wouldn't stop working. And so I had to kind of rethink how it was designed, and that was super fun for me. And then in addition to that, I wanted to push it to the limit, which was, could I, inside of one sub account, merge 3 separate contacts, which in reality would just be one contact that's messaging you on multiple channels. But when you're testing this stuff, you kind of have to create 3 separate contacts first and then respond to each, respond to the lead from each channel, right? And then you have to actually merge them, which I'm going to show you how to do in this video. And could I get ChatGPT to not only respond to the right channel, but also easily reconfigure the follow-up sequence so that either the lead gets followed up on all the channels that it was messaging on, or it gets followed up with on the last channel that it was messaging on. So this is a little bit more of an advanced video. And in addition to that, I wanted to do all of this with one zap. That way, if any of you guys got this from me and you start with SMS, If you want to later get the Facebook version, you can just merge that into one and vice versa, right? And then not have to update any zaps. You only need one zap per sub account. You will need multiple zaps if you have multiple sub accounts. But this was super, super fun. And so what I'm going to do in this video is basically it's pretty much just a free course. So I'm going to show you like how to test each one. I'm going to demo it, show you the newest updates, talk about the errors that I fixed, and then I'm going to do kind of this main grand finale, which would be, merging these 3 separate contacts and having the system respond accurately based on the last channel. So it was super fun to figure out, and I'm looking forward to showing this to you guys. So with that being said, the goal, right, for me to actually make this update was, could I make it more robust, right? Could I accomplish all 3 or 4 of these things, right, while making it more simple to set it up, more simple to implement? That way, those of you guys that are following along could make these adjustments and, have a more robust system because, different people that watch my content are in different countries. They don't really use SMS that much. They use Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs, et cetera, et cetera. So the cool thing about this framework that I've set up is that when, GoHighLevel adds WhatsApp or any of these other channels, these things can automatically work for really any channel because I was able to refine how each channel was built and then combine it in a way where they all work together. So super cool stuff. Hopefully, if you take away anything from the video, you at least get to see how I thought about it, how I constructed it. That way I can, hopefully add value to you in other ways as well. So to summarize everything before I get into demoing it and showing you how this thing works, if you're brand new, right, and you still want to watch this video, even though it's a little bit more advanced, really what I personally do is I work with real estate investors to help them find off-market deals. So those are my clients, right? And so when an investor comes to me, they basically say, hey, I want to work with you, whatever. And so we run Facebook advertisements, and then our surveys, our follow-up sequences, all of that is built inside of GoHighLevel. And so in order for our clients to be successful, they need leads, they need appointments, and those appointments need to get converted, right? And that's how they make money. That's how we make money. They keep paying us because we keep bringing them good leads that convert. And so what ChatGPT solves as an agency or as a business owner, if you follow along with what I'm going to show you in this video and kind of this series, is it can automatically respond to your leads. So it gives you speed to lead, gives your customer speed to lead, and it also allows you to automatically qualify your leads 24/7, 365. So what we're doing to really simplify it is we are taking messages that customers send us, we are sending those messages to ChatGPT, and then we are taking the response that ChatGPT generates from the original message, and we're just passing it through via GoHighLevel, and we are passing it through either via text, Facebook, or Instagram so far. And so that's all we're doing. And so basically our customers, right, have a faster way to get in touch with you. And basically we're doing all of this with automation. And so in addition to that, what I've been able to do was fix some errors so that it continues to follow up with your customers, right? So let's say a customer doesn't respond, right? Ideally, right, the reason you hire a sales rep or an appointment setter or somebody like an assistant is so they continue to follow up with, your leads, right? But what if I told you that forever, and I'm going to demo it right in front of your eyes, your leads will get followed up with as long as they do not unsubscribe. So it's going to be a really powerful video here. And like I said, I'm going to basically walk you through this as if it's a course because those of you that purchase this from me before this video was published, you're going to get access to all 3 of these snapshots. So the all-in-one. And basically, this is kind of the course for those of you that are, that have it from me already. Okay, so we can skip over this part of this because, you would already have access to this. So now we're going to get into the actual setup, and it's going to be a lot easier than you may think. So just to lay some context down, we have one, sub account here that has all 3 of these systems. And then we have our blank snapshot. So this is where I'm going to text back and forth from to make sure that the system is working via the SMS channel. And then I'll eventually pull up Facebook Messenger and Instagram, and we're going to test all 3 channels at once inside of this one sub account. So in order to set this up, we have to install the snapshots, right? So I installed 3 separate snapshots, and they all come in nice and clean, and work, like I said, individually great, but also work, when combined together without any sort of error. So what we're going to first do is we are going to install the imported snapshot into the sub account, which we did, and then we're going to fill in all of the custom values. So I was able to condense even the custom values down to 5. And so it's really cool. So this is super easy to fill out. So basically we have our assistant name. So I'm going to just use the name Jackie for now. And then we have our company name. So this is basically the name of the company that, the assistant is representing. So in my case, I'm just going to do New Breed Investor, and we're going to update that. And then for these new little fields, if you've been watching the series or you have it from me, basically I've renamed the GPT assistant response message, which is the response that the GPT generates. I've renamed that, and then I've also created a new one. So I'll kind of show you as we go down the line, but all we're going to do here is just put a simple hi in here. That way this has a value. And once I walk you through how the newer system works, you're going to see kind of why these additions were made. But right now we're just simply inputting the value. That way there's something, when we pull the webhook and we basically, want to have some sort of value here. So even for the webhook, we're just going to put in just a placeholder here. So this is obviously not going to work. I'm just putting Google here. Okay. So that way all of these values basically are filled out. Okay. So that's step one. Okay. Step two for the SMS system. So we're going to go SMS, Facebook, Instagram, all in one sub account. Okay. But you go SMS all the way through. And then once you do Facebook, you go back to the next step, which I'll show you. Okay. So for the SMS system to get hooked up, we're going to go to our settings and we are going to purchase a phone number. Okay. So I'm going to just click on this. I'll just do, 323, see if I get something here. And I'm just going to purchase this phone number now. So now I have a phone number in the account that has the ChatGPT system. Okay. So that's one baby step. I broke this all down by baby steps. That way, if you're ever stuck, it's just where are you stuck, and it's very easy to pinpoint. So that was that step, purchase a phone number. Okay. So now we're only going to do one channel at a time. So if you plan to use this system, right, for all of the channels, then just start in order the way I'm doing it, right? If you're planning to, use just one of these channels, then you can skip ahead to when I just go to the Facebook part of this step. But prior to this, everything remains the same in terms of getting this thing hooked up. So we're going to stay on the SMS track. So we're going to add myself as a test contact. So I'm going to go over here to, my contacts. There's no one here. And I am just going to do test contact, and then I'll just do SMS, testing, Gmail, just a little test email. And then I'm going to paste in this phone number, which is just a random number that I can respond back from. And we're going to save that. Okay. So that's it. Proceed to the next step, right? Not the next channel. So this is the next channel. So we don't do this right now. You're going to get confused. So now we're going to go here to this next step. So we are going to add the bot to the test contact. Okay. Keep in mind, once you have this set up for each channel, you're not going to have to do this again. Okay. It just basically everything works. And, all you have to do is basically just, like if you get leads, this stuff will already be hooked up. So we're just hooking up the channels. So SMS, adding the bot to the test contact. So now that I've added this test contact, I'm going to go here and we are going to choose. You can now see these are named differently. So we have ChatGPT SMS Start Bot. So now it's going to say hi over here. It's going to send that custom value message that we programmed. And the reason that it's doing that is because the way this system works is we, clicked on Start Bot and then all of these concurrent actions happen. Okay. And when that happens, now we will see this contact is here in this wait queue. Okay. So that's what's happening on the back end. You don't have to hook any of that stuff up. So here is the message. And now if I go over here, this is my, testing account. So when I refresh this, I'm going to see that, message from this phone number. And now what I'm going to do is we can basically skip, to this next step here, not the next channel. And we are going to open up the Zap template. Okay. So if you got this from me, you have this template. If you're following along with the series, you can check out video 1 and see how I did this. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to open this template and we're going to copy the URL from the webhook. So we need to go here and we're going to go to test and we're going to get a, URL here. Now we're going to go back to this, sub account that has the SMS and Facebook and Instagram snapshot installed to it, not the blank one. And then we're just going to paste in the value here. And there we go. And so now once this updates, this is going to update within the automations that I've built. That way you don't have to go in and paste the webhook into all these different things, right? So now what I'm going to do is I will go over here and I'm just going to respond back as the lead. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to respond and say, hello. And this will not generate a response from the system. The reason being is the webhook is not on, or this Zap is not on. So once we've responded like that, what happens is this now has triggered the webhook. So when I click find new records, I will see a new request, which is from that most recent contact. Boom, there it is. And if you've been following along with the series, you're going to see this is a key part of how this thing now works, which allows us to identify what channel the lead came from. So we're going to continue with the selected record. And I'm going to go back to my instruction. So I was able to refresh it. That's good. All you want to do is find the most recent record. Now we have the next step of the Zap, which is the ChatGPT. So we're going to map some fields, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to go here. You're going to link up your ChatGPT account. And what you'll do is you'll click on login, and you'll just paste your API, your OpenAI API login or API key, and then that basically just pastes over here. So now what we're going to do is it's going to be a little bit different than before. Okay, so before we had a message body that went here. Now you're going to map this custom data GPT user response message. Now, the reason that we're doing this is because in the newest update, I've created a custom field that now houses the actual response. And the reason being is this will prevent the error that was previously happening with the Zap error. So this field is now going to be custom data GPT user response message. And then first name will be the name of the contact. The assistant name is going to be whatever you choose. You can map this from your custom value, or you can just write it here. And then for the prompt, when you're setting this up and you're starting out, you can just write, "You are a helpful assistant." That way, you don't confuse yourself with pasting all these prompts and mapping all the fields and stuff like that. Okay, so what you're going to do is just paste all that here. That way it's just nice and simple. You don't have to worry about the prompt yet. The first key benchmark to get over is just to basically get the system working with each other. That way, it's all hooked up. This is the hardest part of this whole thing is once we complete this, all we're going to be doing is just adding other contacts, and this will work for all 3 channels. So this is good. We want to choose GPT-4 model if available. For your memory key, you're going to choose the contact ID, and this is how ChatGPT stores, memory of the contact. Tokens you can leave at 250, and temperature I like at 0.1, and then the top P just leave at 1.0. And then from here, we can see that it generated a response, so we're good. And then now what we're going to do here is we are going to link our sub account, right, that has the GPT systems inside. So you'll copy this API key and then paste it into here. So let me do that real quick. So I pasted my API key, which is right here. And then what I did was I, pasted it here. And then what it will do is it will say lead connector number 1 or 2 or 3 or any sort of number. And what I recommend doing is editing the connection name. And then what you want to do is paste the friendly business name from your sub account and basically link it here. That way, you can clearly see which sub account this is connected to. If not, you're going to have a bunch of them. It's going to get really confusing. So let's move on to the next step here. And now we're just going to map the fields from the webhook. So first name is first name, email is email, phone number is phone number. Okay, so we'll just start there. So first name is first name, last name, if you have it in the test contact, and then phone number and email. And then, like I said, you need to make sure that the lead is marked as, you mark as lead and you put true there. And then we're just going to map 2 simple fields. So we're going to map the GPT assistant response message. So this value is what's generated after we catch the message from the lead. So obviously we want to get that here, and that will pass through into GoHighLevel. So you're looking for assistant response message, and you'll see I've renamed these fields. That way everything's a lot more congruent with the way the system itself is built, ChatGPT. That way it's easier to map. And then here we have GPT user response message last source, and then we're going to pull that from this webhook up here, and that will basically tell our system in GoHighLevel, where to send that last message from, right, or to. So this is how, the system now works, which is way better. So now, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. So these are all the steps here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish this. And now the Zap is on, okay? And the only configured channel that we have set up is the SMS. Now, that isn't because of the snapshot. It's just because we only have one contact with a phone number. We can't test the Facebook or the Instagram quite yet. So we're just going to finish the entire setup of the SMS, and I'm going to demonstrate, how this new thing works and how much better it follows up, and show you that there's no error. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to respond back as the lead, and I'm going to walk you through a few things that should happen. So like I said, the bot was not on because the webhook or the Zap was not configured and turned on. So now if I say, hey there, within a few seconds, I will get a message from ChatGPT and from that prompt. And so we'll wait for that to come in, and that's going to be based on the prompt that was configured here, okay? So keep in mind yours isn't going to say this because I instructed you to just have a generalized prompt for the time being, okay? And so what I want to like I said, just do is get the function set up. That way you're good and you can make the prompt adjustments later. So now what I want to demonstrate is I'm going to say interested in a quote. And now what should happen is I'm just kind of, feeding the prompt so that it can start qualifying me and doing what the prompt says. And so what it's going to do is it should ask me if I want to, answer questions over text or, yeah, so there you go. So what I want to do now is illustrate how this thing follows up. So if I switch to the sub account that has the system inside it, we will go here and we will see a 1 in this, workflow. And why is that? Well, number one, the system is fully turned on and hooked up and the lead is inside of the actual system. And so what just happened is when the system was turned on like the Zap, the customer replied, right? I sent this response and all these actions happened that I've now updated. And then it triggered the webhook. The webhook is this thing. So it basically goes, customer replied, it goes down here, then it sends this webhook. The webhook comes out the other end right here, goes down here and goes down here, and then it updates this contact, right? And it updates this field and it updates this field. So if we go here, let's start with one at a time. If this field gets updated, this triggers this guy. So if you look, the trigger is when GPT assistant response message has changed, right? Then it goes down this conditional path. So either the customer replied or the contact was changed. Well, the reason the contact changed is because the customer replied, we sent that reply from here to ChatGPT, we took that response and then updated the field. So when we update the field, it goes down here, and then we're going to ignore the booking bot for now, and we're just going to see that the lead now was sent a message, right? And so just because I like to really show people how this stuff works, if we look into the history of the Zap, we're going to see these are basically the messages. So if I click on this one, the data in, right, is going to be this data in, right, is going to be this, message that I sent, right? So if I go over here, there it is, interested in a quote. So boom, we took that. And then what we did was we put that into this prompt, right? And then from there, it said user message is interested in a quote. So based on the prompt, ChatGPT responds to that and says, hey, that's great. Before we proceed, are you comfortable answering a few questions via text to help us serve you better? And what do you know? That's what gets sent out here. And how it gets sent is we take this value and we put it into this field, right? And then when that field changes, right, then it goes down here. And then this is the text action, and we just paste the value, right, of that field. And the reason there's brackets is because this is a custom field inside of GoHighLevel. And so this is where this gets pasted into. Boom. And so that's how this thing works. Now we see that this contact is here because I have this wait for contact reply action. And so what it's doing is it's saying, hey, we want to wait until this person replies to this message. And the reason we're waiting for them to reply is because this is part of the new thing that I built on all of the channels, is because if the customer, right, does not reply, we're going to go down here because this was the bug fix. The other way worked, right? So what I've done here is when the contact doesn't reply after 1 day, right, then what happens is we clear the last source. Okay, so there's a field in here that that we pull from over here, right? That tells us where we're going to see it right here, the last source, right? So what it does is it clears that value because you'll see later if there's multiple channels running, right? We want to clear it because there's only one value ever allowed here. So if we have, multiple values, the thing won't work. So we clear the value and we make it most current because this is really where the system is last interacting, right? Because inside of all of the workflows, the master workflows for each channel, we have the same process, but instead of it clears it for all of them, but it updates the source for every respective master workflow. So in the Facebook one, you'll see over here, it says Facebook. So then what happens is this gets updated, and then what we do, and where there was an error previously, was that when a customer did not respond, right, what would happen is if you go look at the original, there was just a go-to step right here. So there was no condition. And so that go-to step went straight back just to the webhook. None of this stuff was here before. And so when it went straight back to the webhook, what would happen is this message body, which was the old field that was used, would be blank. And then ChatGPT didn't know what to respond to because it was blank, and then the system would not work. And so what I did was I created a custom field for this response. That way it always has a value. So what you'll see is it was cleared when the customer did not respond. And then technically it was reset to the custom value on the back end, which just says hi. And the reason being, and I'll demo it for you right now, is let's say that a day passed with this particular lead, right? What we would want ideally is ChatGPT to follow up with this lead exactly where it left off. So number one, before there was a zap error, right? And then number two, what would happen is if it did follow up, it wouldn't follow up exactly where it would leave off. So what I've done is I've reset this value to just kind of like an anchor value that just says hi. That way it just thinks that the lead is technically re-engaging. So what I did, or what I'm going to do, is we're going to see this lead here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to push this contact to the next step. When I do that, it's going to go down here because the customer did not reply, right? I forced the customer to go down the next step so we can see what happens. So when I click on this and I move all contacts to the next step, I will get a follow-up message that says something following up exactly where it left off. Watch. So it should say, hey, are you still interested in answering a few questions or whatever? Boom. I see you're interested in a quote. Are you currently seeking IT solutions for your organization? Okay, so it's following up on that. And inside of the prompt, I instruct it to never send the same message twice, which was another potential error. Because the way this thing works is this custom field has to change. Okay, if it doesn't change, if it sends the same message, it doesn't change, right? Then the rest of this can't happen. So now you'll see the contact is back here in an infinite loop of follow-up. So if we refresh again, the lead is still here. If we force the lead to the next step again, we are going to see another follow-up message again. And the reason that it works now is because I'm telling the lead, hi. I keep sending that every time that contact times out. There it is. Hello, I'm following up on our last conversation. So do it again, just for good measure. And I was able to make this correction on all of the channels. So if we click move all, we go here, it's going to send another one. Hey, I'm following up. Now keep in mind, I'm forcing the contact through this workflow. So with the way that it's constructed, boom, there you go, right? It just stays right there, which is sick. And I did that on SMS, Facebook, and Instagram, and they all work together. So we're just kind of getting started. I'm laying the foundation. As I do the next channel, it'll be a little bit faster because you'll already understand how this thing works. But basically, this lead will never leave here unless you remove them or they stop or unsubscribe, right? This lead will never, ever not get followed up with, okay? Because why? If they don't respond, they go down here, which I just showed you, which triggers the webhook, which triggers this, value to get resent. So what I'm going to show you now is the zap history. So what we're going to see if we go back over here, we're going to see this message say hi. We're going to see it 2 times or 3, however many I did it. So I think it was this one. This is the first hi. Boom, hi. So it thinks that, hey, this lead is re-engaging. And then we go again, it's going to say hi, boom. And then we go again, it's going to say hi. And those are the 3 forces that I put that contact through. Okay, and so then what happens is when we force that contact, when it goes down here and they don't respond, it sends the webhook. It does, what I just showed you. It sends that hi to ChatGPT. ChatGPT changes the field and generates a new response to that new hi. Then it goes down here and then it just goes forever and ever. And if they do respond, same thing. It just does the same thing in a little bit of a different order. It goes, clears the sources, does all the things it needs to do here, and then it goes back to the webhook, which does the same thing over and over. So this will never, the lead will never not get followed up with. This is infinite follow-up, and it's going to be infinite follow-up based on where it left off because I was able to reset the value to something very general, and thus it thinks it's re-engaging. So that's sick. That's where it's at. And you can change this timeout period. So just basically think of it now that there's no error. Whatever value you add here, right? If a lead is before the process of, booking a call and buying your service or whatever it is, just know that whatever you put this value to is when they're going to get a message, right? Because if they respond, it's just going to repeat. If they don't respond, it's just going to repeat too. So if you put this at every, 1 day, the contact will get followed up with every day from the moment that it first passes through to this step. So super, super crazy. Okay. So that's how that works. So now we've set up the zap. Okay. And we don't have to set up the zap again, and we don't have to set up the custom values again either. So now we have one contact via SMS. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to create my first test contact for the Facebook Messenger system. Okay. So I'm going to scroll back up to the test contact step. So we skip this. We don't need a phone number. We already bought that. And, the Facebook Messenger system isn't messaging the lead via SMS. It's messaging it through Facebook. So we just go right back to here. So what you need to do is first integrate the sub account, right, with a Facebook business page. So let me do that. All right, so this sub account, which has all 3 of the snapshots loaded into it, is now integrated with the Facebook business page, okay? And so the Facebook ChatGPT system works slightly different. And basically, the main difference is that you need an email for the Facebook Messenger contact. The reason being is because when I tested all kinds of different ways to do it without asking for any info from the lead, what will happen is the contact will not update properly, and it will send, it will create blank contacts in GoHighLevel. So just trust me when I say you need an email associated with the Messenger and Instagram, ChatGPT system. So what I'm going to do here is basically show you the back end first, which is how this system kind of starts. So we can't just write an email, right? An email value and create a contact for the, for the actual Facebook Messenger lead, because we can't just like, okay, let me just send this person on Facebook a message from HighLevel. You have to have them either inside of this account or run ad or something to where, they're somehow messaging your page. So what I have here is just a simple opt-in keyword. Keep in mind, you can remove this phrase so that anytime someone messages you on Facebook, you ask them this email, and you could basically do a wait condition here, which waits for a certain condition in the CRM, which ideally, if you're automating it, would be email is not empty. And then what it's going to do is it's going to wait until that happens. And then if it does happen, right, then you're going to go to add to workflow, and we're going to start the Facebook bot. So that's how you would automate, your system. I don't give it that way out of the box because some people would get confused and their bot would just start firing and they wouldn't know what was going on. So I have these values kind of hard coded in here. That way it doesn't, just start firing off. So what I'm going to do is basically send this keyword to my business page that is linked to that sub account. Now, if I paste this value here, what's going to happen is it's going to send me this exact message. Okay. It's going to send me this exact message. I'm going to allow re-entry. So this means the workflow can run twice. That way, if I already did this before, it doesn't jam. So I'm going to, click opt-in keyword, and it's going to ask me for my email now. And once I get that message, then I'm going to basically respond with my email. And that's going to basically allow me to have a secondary contact inside of the sub account. So there it is. Before we get started, what's your best email in case we get disconnected? Remember, we can customize this, and the bot is not on. Okay, the bot is not on. So I'm going to do testing Facebook, snap, boom. And now nothing's going to happen, okay, because there's no automation after that condition or anything like that. So all that happened is now there's a second contact with an email, and now this contact is just qualified to go inside of the bot. We have the minimum necessary information we need in order to basically start the bot for this user. So I'm going to basically click active, and I'm going to start the Facebook bot. So now it's just going to say hi, and that's basically it. So boom, and now you will see if we refresh this lead is a separate contact, is in the GPT-4, right, for the Facebook. So if we go here, I don't want to accidentally unclick or remove that lead. We will see the original contact, right? The first person is still in the SMS thing. And now the second person is over here, and it's all in one sub account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to respond as the lead. So same process. Hey, what's up? And boom, that is now going to respond to me via Facebook only, okay? And it's not going to screw with or mess with the other lead that is texting via the SMS system. So there's the bot working perfectly via Facebook. Same thing. So if we go over here, like I said, one contact has autopilot SMS, works fully independently on its own. There's all those follow-up messages. Everything's good, okay? Now, if we go to the second lead, right, which is the Facebook lead, there's the last message sent from the bot. And now this lead will be in that infinite loop inside of the Facebook workflow. So if I respond here, I can leave it without responding to show you the follow-up, how the follow-up thing works for the Facebook, which it's the exact same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to force the contact down here, and then it's going to respond and follow up to me. Let me refresh this. It's going to follow up with this lead on Facebook Messenger. So we're going to push this over here. Boom. Now I'm going to get a follow-up message, following up with me right there on Facebook. And then I'll do one more. Then I'll move to Instagram. Then I'll combine these 3 contacts into one contact and then show you how it responds to the respective channel. Okay, so boom, there it followed up again. The lead will still be here. If I refresh it, the lead will be here. Okay, we're going to force it again so you can see the follow-up system. we will get a third message from technically second follow-up message, but third total message. So we're going to see another one pop through here in just a second, and it's all going to be on Facebook, and the other one still will work. So give that a second to pop through. Boom, there it is. And just to show you the same logic, the reason these last 3 messages fired is because when the contact did not respond, we reset that value to say hi. So we're going to see hi right there. Boom. Okay. And we're going to see it below here again. Boom. Okay. So that's how this thing now is working. And just to show you, I'm going to say this is now switching back to the SMS system and say, yes, I am. And I want to show you that, I still get a fast response, right, via SMS, and it doesn't interfere with the other lead. So let me refresh this. And we're going to see my message that I sent, and then boom, that's great. You have a budget set aside for services. So if I go to the account that has the systems inside of it, we're going to see there's our Facebook lead, right? And that's a totally separate conversation. Then we have our, SMS contact, totally separate conversation. And both of these leads will be in the follow-up workflow. There's the one there. We go to the SMS, there's the one there. Boom. Infinite follow-up on both channels, works totally perfect separately and when combined. And now we're going to do the Instagram system. So we have 2 contacts, one via SMS, one via Facebook. So now what I'm going to do is go over here, and I'm going to go to this. I already integrated the Instagram business page because when you integrate the Facebook, if the 2 pages are linked, then it just automatically works. So same process here. I'm going to close this out, and I can open up this here, and this will have my message to my page. So now what I'm going to do is go to step 6 of the IG workflows and do the same thing. Make sure this allows reentry in case I did it before or whatever. And what I'm going to do is the same thing. So I'm going to paste this keyword, and this is going to ask me for my email. So it's going to send me the same message just via Instagram. Okay. And so, boom, once I do that, I'm going to type in a separate third email to create a third contact on a third channel. So testing IG, snap, boom. Now, if we go back here, we will see 3 contacts. The bot is not on for the third contact, but once this email value populates, it is now qualified to be inside of the bot, okay? And so now, if I click on Start Bot, then what's going to happen is I'm going to click on Start IG Bot, okay? And that's going to say hi right over here, and it's going to send via Instagram. Boom, perfect. Now there's the message there. The Zap has already been turned on, right? Once we set it up once, I designed it where you don't have to redo anything. So this bot is now on. So I'm going to say, hey, what's up? I'm pretty interested in your services. And now this one will work fully independently and will respond to this lead via Instagram directly. And then I'm going to do the grand finale, merging them all and showing you how that whole thing works. So, hey, what's up? I'm pretty interested in your services. Boom. Great to hear. Before we proceed, I'd like to know if you're comfortable answering a few questions via text. This will help me understand your needs better. So if I know what I'm doing, there's 3 separate contacts on 3 separate channels. Boom. Verified. SMS, Facebook, Instagram. And 3 separate contacts are within a ChatGPT bot for 3 separate channels. Yes, correct. Also, because of the way I designed the system, 3 contacts are in 3 separate workflows in the wait queue. So if we go down the line, SMS, we will see a 1 in step 4, boom. We will see a 1 in step 4 for Facebook, boom. We will see a 1 in step 4 for Instagram, boom. Now I'm going to demonstrate that if I follow up with this lead here by forcing the contact, right? It's going to go down the line, make sure it's, clears the source, make sure it's Instagram, all that stuff is built in. So that will then, if we force it down here, that's going to send the webhook. The webhook is going to, catch the hook over here, send the response to ChatGPT, and then keep working as normal. So we're going to push this contact through here, boom. And now we're going to get a follow-up message on Instagram, and it will follow up where this conversation left off. Boom, there it is. Are you currently seeking IT solutions for your organization? I will refresh. This contact will still be here. So refresh. Contact it's not still here. It passed all the way through and then landed up here. And then we push it through again. This will send another follow-up message, no Zap error, and the right correct channel, right? Instagram, boom, it's going to pop up right there. And same logic again. These next 3 zaps that will pop up, or however many I ran, will all say that high value because the customer did not respond. Boom, there it is. And then boom, there it is. Okay, and then these are the responses from the actual system. So that's each individual channel working properly inside of one sub account. Now for the real stress test, which is, can we combine all of these contacts into one? So let's say, for example, this contact is named Quinn Nolan, and the contact has texted you before, Facebook messaged your business page that's linked to this sub account, and Instagram DM'd your business page linked to this sub account, hypothetically, right? The use case for this is very low. However, I wanted to design the system in a way where it would work this way as well. So what I'm going to do is merge these contacts to simulate one contact engaging with your business in 3 different ways: SMS, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'm going to click on merge. And really what I'm going to do here is I need to select the record from each of the proper channels. So I'm going to name the contact Quinn Nolan, and then I'll just choose this testing email. And then I need to make sure that this contact has a phone number, because these other records didn't, right? So we're merging this contact to simulate Quinn Nolan being connected with this business on Facebook, Instagram, and SMS. So we need all these tags, right? And then we need to choose the Facebook profile that was integrated. The profile photo doesn't matter. It's either going to choose the one from the Facebook profile or the Instagram. In this case, it doesn't matter. And then we need to make sure that we have the proper Instagram profile, right, selected. And then what we're going to do here is we do have to choose, the last response. So for example, each contact will have their own last source response. So technically when you merge the contact, it's going to basically have a value of one of them. You have to choose it, right? So let's just make sure we have name, email, and phone. So this will work with text. We have all the proper tags. We have the one with the Facebook profile integrated, and we have the one with the Instagram profile integrated. We're merging all the conversation. That way it's all in one thread. We're just going to choose the Instagram one and the most recent response time from the lead and the most recent message sent from the actual bot. That way it's just the most current one. So now we're going to click confirm, and we will see one contact, before I do it, one contact with 3 tags: autopilot SMS, autopilot Facebook, autopilot IG, and one thread of all of the conversation. And then from here, right, so there it is. And you can see it's showing these, follow-up messages from Instagram, since this is the most recent one. We can text this lead, right, from our business. We can email the lead, Facebook, and Instagram DM. So what happens if this, contact sends a message from Facebook? So if we go here back to, or let's just do SMS since I haven't done that one. So now this, we're in the blank snapshot. So this is still this business's phone number. So if I say, hey, what's going on? Was at lunch. What should happen is we're going to receive the message via SMS, but it should respond via SMS regardless of being in the Instagram GPT master workflow. Boom, there it is. It's sending it via SMS. Perfect. And if I text it again, I can say, yes, I am. And it's just going to keep the conversation rolling with me via text. So I'm going to get another text back here, and it's going to be working fully independently. So give it a second. Boom, there it is. Do you have a budget set aside? So I can respond via text, right? Now, like I said, this is more just for fun, to really see. It was really to challenge myself to see what I could create. But basically, if we go here to message this same business now, I'm going to say, hey there, what up? Now, if I know what I'm doing, I'm going to get a Facebook message here, and it should respond via Facebook Messenger as well, and it will not respond via the text. So it's going to respond to the last channel that the actual lead, sent a message from. Then, if I really know what I'm doing, I should be able to switch over here and say, hey, is Mike there? Because Mike is a part of this prompt. So if I say, is Mike there? I'm going to get a text or an Instagram DM and a response via Instagram DM. And that will complete the, this thing I wanted to build, which took a lot of work. So there it is. It's a relief to see. It took me hours and hours and hours. So that's it. Now I want to show you I want to mention one last thing. So basically, the only thing to mention here is I put it down here in my notes. So, all right. So, okay. So the way it's configured out of the box, if you purchase this from me, or you're going to buy these, either separately or you want it all in one, the way it comes out of the box, regardless of if you buy them one by one from me or you buy, the all-in-one snapshot, which would basically be, this snapshot, the way that it is configured is you will now see the contact is still in each GPT master. Okay. The reason being is because the way it's designed is they're infinitely getting followed up on any channel that they've responded or engaged from. Okay. So you can see here, like, if I push this contact out, it's going to send them a text. If I push this contact out, it's going to send them to Instagram. If I push this out, it's going to send them to Facebook. So if you want to change this to where it only works, it will always respond to the last channel. But if you want to, I think I wrote it pretty clearly here. So you can prevent a lead from getting followed up with on multiple channels, which very simply just means if you want to basically only respond to the lead and follow up with the lead on the last channel, right, that the message was either sent from or the lead responded from, what you would do is you would remove the lead from the workflow in here. So you will just put a plus here and do remove from workflow. And you're going to do another workflow, and you're going to choose the other channels, right, that the lead could potentially, well, if you want to just build it in, you would just choose the other channels. It doesn't matter if the lead is in there or not if you want this function. So for example, I would remove the contact from the IG master, okay? And then I would call this remove from ChatGPT IG master. And then I would remove the contact from another workflow, which would be the GPT master for SMS from ChatGPT SMS master. And I would do that for each of the master workflows for the other channels. Now, the reason being is because when this, we can test it right now. So the only one that this would work for right now is this workflow because I just did it, right? So if I push this contact through here, well, let me show you before I do it. You're going to see a 1, right, in the IG workflow and a 1 in the SMS workflow, right? Because this same contact has now been merged. They've engaged on multiple channels. And, you know, the way the system's designed out of the box is to follow up with the lead independently on each channel. That's it, right? And so if you want to protect that by just the most recent channel, then you do what I just did here. And I can show you exactly how this works, because if I push this contact out of this step into this, either one, whether they reply or don't reply, I update the source. Okay, and so since the source will be Facebook in this case, because this is the Facebook master, what's going to happen if we look in the execution logs is once this guy goes all the way around here, the contact will get changed, right? And then it will basically remove the contact from these other workflows. So if we look here, see, remove from workflow, and it'll say whatever one I put first, IG, and then remove over here, Facebook, or no, SMS, because this is the Facebook one. And if we go back to the other workflows, the 1 will be gone. Boom, it's gone. And then this other one, boom, it's gone. So you would do the same thing for each one. So for example, if you wanted to respond and follow up to the lead with the most recent channel, you would remove the contact from the other channel workflows, regardless of if they're in those channels or not, because the workflow will still run even if the contact isn't in there. It's just if the contact is, it will remove it. So this case, we would do remove from ChatGPT Facebook master, because this is the Instagram one, so we don't want it to go out on Facebook, right? And like I said, you could leave it how it is out of the box, or you could add this, kind of up to you. And then this one, we're going to do the SMS one. So remove from SMS, GPT, master. And the cool thing is with the way I'm showing you is that it still won't deactivate the bot though. So watch, let me show you what I mean. Let me add it into the SMS one, make sure I do it correctly. Remove from workflow. So I'm going to do the IG one because this is SMS. So we're going to remove from IG, GPT master, save, boom, and then remove from Facebook master. And so what's cool is that as long as the bot is turned on for the contact and they're qualified to, go through, like, for example, you need the email for IG and Facebook and you need a phone number. So if you want all three of them to work at all times, as long as you have an email and phone, wherever the lead will respond from is where it's gonna pass through this respective master workflow. Okay, so what's cool is, watch. Let me double check this to make sure I did the right one. So this is SMS, so this should remove from IG. This should remove from Facebook. Okay, perfect. Go to the Facebook one, that should remove from IG, and it should remove from SMS. Remove from IG, remove from SMS. Perfect. Now go to Instagram, remove from Facebook and SMS. Facebook, SMS. Perfect. So now if we go to the contact, we'll see this contact is in the Facebook Messenger, Facebook GPT master. But what if the last message is from SMS? So what if I say, hey, I'm back, whatever, right? Just to re-engage. Now, what will happen is I'm going to, number one, get a response still via SMS, via the bot, but I will not be followed up with on Instagram or Facebook, even though I already engaged there, because when it passes through this workflow, it's going to remove them from the other channel. Therefore, the lead is only in one GPT master. Boom. Welcome back. Just to pick up where we left off. And so boom, if we go into SMS, we'll see a 1 here and zeros in the others. 0 and then 0. Okay. And then just to throw a total wrench in the whole thing and show you that it really does work. If I say, hey, okay, tell me more on Instagram, now this contact that was in the SMS, I may have been too slow. Well, okay, if I refresh this once it runs, the lead will be gone from here and they'll be in the SMS. So there's going to be a 0 here, boom, and it's going to be in the IG one, boom. So yeah, I couldn't believe I figured all of it out. I wanted to share it with all of you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that and see kind of the function. If you want to grab it below, you can grab it for each individual channel, or you can get the all-in-one where it's, all in one. And then, like I said, out of the box, it's not going to have, well, yeah, it probably won't have this. That way, if people want to combine it, everything will still work. And then if you want to simply add these in, maybe if you guys get it from me and just message me, you guys want that. Maybe I can make a separate, snapshot that does have this version if you guys don't want to build it yourself. But yeah, it sticks to one prompt. It follows up with the lead on either, like I said, every channel it's engaging on or the last channel it engages on. It pulls right where it left off in the conversation. And it took me a lot of work. It was pretty frustrating at times, but it was so rewarding to get it. And I wanted to share it with all of you because, I just want to show you cool stuff on the channel. So that's it. If you want to join our free community, you can do so here. You can see I have quite a few messages to respond to and notifications. I've literally just been tunnel vision on creating this for those of you that are affiliates or purchased from me before. So if you purchase this from me before, you will get all 3. And if you purchase from this point forward, it'll just be whatever is linked below. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts. All right, peace.